Alright, so I've installed Neovim, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Because one reason is because I wanted to try to use GitHub Copilot, and there wasn't an official plugin for Emacs. The other reason is I've kind of always wanted to try to learn Vim because of this whole Vim versus Emacs thing, but I never really had the reason or the desire, but now I figured I would try to learn it. So we'll see how it goes. I'll probably be a bit slower than normal, but I think it shouldn't be too bad. So anyway, so I have already set it up, and I have a decent theme. I have the language server protocol, so we can do things like I don't know, function power2, and it should take, let's say, a number which is usize, and then here's my example. We can see all the different methods that are on the number, which is quite nice. We can select an autocomplete and do something like this, and yeah, it's just nice. Okay, there's an error here, so we can like see what's the error. Well, it doesn't show us the error, it just shows us an explanation for this. Now it says no errors. Don't really understand why it thinks there's an error. Oops. Yeah, apparently I still don't know how to get it to show the error, but oops, it is what it is. So anyway, so I also have some other things installed. For example, I can search through project files like this. You see it updates when I search, so I can show all the test files here, for example, or like that. And I also have an easy way to get into the browser, like this. And the final thing is something called Harpoon, which you see here. Now I don't have any files harpooned, but basically I can say by pressing the leader key, which in my case is space and A, I can harpoon a file, and that puts it here, so I can easily like go between it. So if I open another file, let's say expression file, I can harpoon those two, and now I have them easily accessible, and I can also switch between them with some hotkeys. If you're interested in this specific setup, I'll link the video down below that I used to build this up from a YouTuber called Primagen, who's like a Vim expert. Yeah, but that being said, let's get started. But in this video, I just want to do maybe a little bit of cleaning. So let's go in here. And what I would like this thing to do, so I can run the tests. But you see what happens is it just writes for all these like many test cases that we have written, where it actually takes some code and passes that and runs it and so on. There's only one output, even though we have like 20 test cases. I mean this line. I basically want it to print some information while it's running. So we can go up here. So here we run the test. So I guess we can say print, not line, but just print running. And maybe we need to, let's try this. And if it ends up being okay, actually we don't want this. We want to say print line. Okay. I guess something like that. And if it fails, we can print the errors, but we also want to say failed. So let's try this. Okay, it didn't like that. So instead of case, I probably want to put name, and let's try if that works. All right, and it's not printing anything because we have to say cargo test, no captcha. Right, and now it's printing. The problem is that when we run tests with cargo, it automatically suppresses output, printed output. So also this doesn't look very nice, and I think we can do something like this. If it's less than, let's just say 100 characters, then we not what I wanted, but almost. So yeah, I want to replace that. Yeah, something like that. But what is this? This is because they're all running. That's not nice, because all the tests are running like threaded. So while this test is running, the other test is running, and then the output from this one gets chucked on at the end there. Maybe we don't do it like this. Maybe we just put, like, let's make some messages, which is a vector of things, and then, oops, undo. Then instead of print, we can say messages push, and this should be format, I think. And we can go to the end, do that. Actually, let's go here, and then I should be able to say everything inside those, let's delete that, and let's undo that. Let's put it here, and the same thing here. And then instead of print line, I want to say let's do that. I want to say message push. Actually, that was wrong. Like this. And now I can say, okay, push and push. Okay. Now we get some messages, and then we will say here in the end, for messages, print line message. Excellent, and undo that. Sometimes interesting. Yes, exactly. Because we need to say format and insert one of those. Okay. Now it's fine. Let's, instead of 100, let's say it's just 50. No, that's not enough. So, I don't know, 75. Yeah, it's honestly 100 was probably fine. Let's go with that. It's a bit, oh, it's too long. It's way too long. So not 100, but 85. Yeah, that will be fine. Let's now add a test case for getters and setters, because that should be implemented. Let's try. Okay, let's try to say we make a class that's just a bagel. We make a bagel instance, and then we should be able to say just assign something and like give it a name, and then we can say print this thing, prints 2, print the name, it prints the name. So that works, but we don't have a test for it. Let's go ahead and add that. So we want inside cases, test cases. Let's call it get set. And we need this thing, test. And let's just do this thing we just did. And then we print p.test, print p.name. We have the expected outcome, which is 2 and Steve, I think, like this. Let's try to run our tests now. They were all okay. Do we even have the one we just wrote? Okay, I think another thing has become clear now. Let's harpoon this. Let's see. Here, no. Doesn't have what I want. I want tests mod. Harpoon that too. I want to print something like this many tests. And then I want to sort these. I mean, okay, now we can use the language serial protocol. Sort the slice. I don't know what the tilde means at the end, but let's just try it. And I don't know why it didn't format it automatically. Let's try to run. Okay. 28 tests. Let's do something. Let's say ran 28 tests. That's fine. And now we print them in the sorted order, and I'm happy with that. And now we can see that the test we just wrote is actually being run, and it passed. So another question is if we can try more complicated things. Why not? Let's see, test cases. Set get function. All right. And we can make a bagel. Now we can say that we set a function which is equal to, actually I forgot the syntax for this. Let me check. Not this, we want the anonymous function. Yeah, it's just fun, and a. So we don't need this anymore. Okay. So we'll say this is a function that takes a number and it returns a plus 2. And then we will say result is the function evaluated on 2, and then we print the result. And that should be 4. And it failed. Line 1 expected. Because of course it's not this. Let's try again. So that now it failed. Expected semicolon after expression. Yes, of course. And that passed. That's pretty nice. So this is one way you can set methods. Of course, what we'll do in a coming video is to actually define methods when we define the class, but now you can actually already do it. Of course, if we get let's make another one. Actually, wait. Let me copy all this, and then what I want to do now is the same thing, except we make another class and then we try to access this function field on that, which should obviously fail. So I don't remember exactly how it looks, but it looks something like this. Okay, so it failed. Error, no field name fn on this instance. So we can not do that. No field name fn on this instance. And there we go. So now we proved that this is actually an instance method, or what am I trying to say? Like, this is a field for this instance that doesn't exist on the class itself, if that makes sense. So let's do one more thing in this video, which is in the main function. When we pass in an empty line, actually the interpreter stops. So what I mean is, if I say run and then I press enter, it stops, which is not what I want. So here we should say delete that, and if the number of lines is 0, then we return, and else if it's just one line, wait. No, this is number of characters. If it's one character, wait a second. So if I undo this and I say just C, no, it just fails. Because there's always a new line at the end, I suppose. It's a bit weird, but whatever. Okay, anyway, so if there's only one character, it has to be the new line, and then we can just say continue. And now it's working like I like, except that when we end it, it's not printing a new line. So let's go ahead and do that. Print line. Now again, print 2 plus 2, 2 times 2 even. Then we can do like that, and it makes a new line. It looks good. Great. So I don't know, maybe that's it for this video, and then in the next video we will start looking at the book again. So until next time.